Rochelle and welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with another video for you guys, and this is the look that I am doing. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I achieve this makeup look, and I'm also can't even talk. I'm also going to show you guys how I created this wig, how I colored it, how I cut it, how I styled it. So yeah, if you want to see how I got this entire look right here, then please continue to watch.
Alright, so let's get started. Today I'm using the 613 body wave hair from West Kiss. I've used their hair in quite a few of my videos now, and I use the body wave. You can use straight hair as well, but I really like their body wave hair texture because it's just fuller, and I love the quality of the body wave. Now, I did not make the entire wig on camera because I do have very detailed videos on how I make my wigs, and honestly it's all the same process. I'm doing the same thing I always do, use a wig cap, sew in, it's the same thing. So I will link a video on how I make the wigs in the description bar down below. Alright, so we are going to move on to coloring, and the hair that I'm using, you guys, is 613. It's a very yellow blonde, but I want to take out some of that yellow and have the hair look a little bit more on the white blonde side, but I don't want to have to bleach the hair or do anything to it. So I'm just going to use a toner shampoo. Any purple shampoo will do. The one I'm using is Blond Brilliance. So I'm just going to load up a bucket of water with some hot water, and it's almost like the watercolor technique, and I'm just going to put that shampoo into the bucket, and then I'm just gonna dip my entire wig in there just to tone the hair. And as you can see, the hair is not looking as yellow anymore, and I did this because when I apply my lavender dye, I want my purple to have more of a cool tone, as you can see. So it has a bit more of gray, but when you don't do this technique first, so this is what it looks like without toning the hair first. So you get more like a very purple violet shade, and I find that when I tone the hair, I get more of like a cool tone lavender shade, and that's the look I was going for. Alright, so now we're going to move on to coloring our wigs, and today I'm using the Adore semi-permanent hair color, and the shades that I'm using is soft lavender and lavender, and I'm only using one bottle of the soft lavender and one bottle of the lavender shade. So I'm just going to apply both of them into my bucket right here. It's that simple, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply some hot water into my bucket. So we are doing the watercolor technique because it is faster, it's easier, and I'm not really doing anything complicated. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip my wig into the bucket. You can also do your bundles first if you prefer to do that method, but either way it comes out good to me. And this is the color that we are going for. Like, look how gorgeous that is, and I literally dyed the hair in like maybe 2 minutes, if not less. But this is what it looks like, and my hair is looking all soapy because I forgot to wash the shampoo out, you guys. So you want to make sure you wash the shampoo first before you do this. I mean, it doesn't really affect the hair. I love doing this technique because you don't end up spending a lot of money on dyes, because dyes can be very expensive. And my frontal came out looking nice and clean, as you can see, and I'm just rinsing out the soap because there's a lot of shampoo that was still in the hair. And this is pretty much the end result. Like, I'm living for the shade of purple. I love it. Almost looks like it has a bit of gray in there, but I really love the shade. Now I'm just gonna go in with my tweezer, and I do have very detailed videos on how I tweeze my frontals. And you guys, I tweeze behind the hairline. This frontal was pre-plucked, so I didn't really need to do a crazy amount of tweezing, but even with pre-plucked frontals, you still need to do some customization just to get the hairline to look really good and natural. So I'm just gonna go in with my blow dryer after I tweeze the hair and just blow her out. So we're gonna move on to styling and cutting this hair. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to flat iron her straight. I think you guys all know how to use a flat iron already, right? So it's really simple, it's easy, it's really nothing to it. So I'm gonna straighten the hair out first. So I'm just taking small sections of hair and just running that flat iron through this hair. Alright, so now that the hair is straightened, I'm gonna go ahead and cut, and I'm starting off at the back, and I'm using a scissors. And I'm also going to go in with a razor comb. So this is going to help to thin that hair out a bit because the hair is kind of bulky. There's a lot of hair on this wig. So I just want to thin it out so it lays a lot more flat. And you guys, I am not a professional when it comes to cutting hair or any of that stuff. I'm literally just learning how to make my own wigs. So I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm doing, and it was really hard for me to actually cut it on the mannequin head. So I put the wig on, and there's my cat just doing the most as always. Couldn't even get rid of him. So yeah, anyway, so I put the wig on because I really wanted to see how it looked on my head and how short I want it to be, because I really couldn't tell when it's on the mannequin head. And I'm just gonna go in with that razor comb and just chop away. I try not to cut off too much of the front because I wanted the front to be a little bit on the longer to have like a layered look. So the hair length that I'm using, the frontal is about 12 inches, and the actual bundles of hair I use 14 inches and 12 inches. However, because of the length that I went for, I could have just gotten all 12 inches instead of grabbing a 14 inches, but I really didn't know how short I wanted this wig to be. So I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit because I'm pretty much just doing the same thing over and over, and it's kind of hard for me to explain, so you guys can just watch and see what I am doing. So I'm gonna put the wig back onto the mannequin head because I want to cut the back, because now I know exactly how short I want it to be. I know how it looks on my head. So I went in with the scissors and did some more cutting, and went in with that thinning comb just to thin that wig out a bit so it lays nice and flat on my head and not looking bulky. So this is pretty much what it looks like once the hair is all cut and styled, and I'm very, very happy with the length. And just do not mind my cat, he's just chilling like he don't even care. Anyways, so I did apply my wig off camera, the reason being because I do have videos on how I apply my wigs, but I'm going to be doing a very detailed video on how I apply wigs very soon. That video will probably be up tomorrow or the day after that. Anyway, so I use the Ghost Bond lace glue. That's a glue that I always use. And now we're going to move on to the makeup. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly fill in my brows, and I'm filling in the bottom of my brows first. This is just how I always fill in my brows. And then I'm going to go in with some concealer. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Sand. And I use this to clean up my brows, and I also use this as a eyeshadow base. So I'm just applying that all over the eyelid, and then I'm going to go in with some translucent powder to set that concealer. So for the eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using the new nude eyeshadow palette from Huda Beauty, and I've actually used the palette already, so this is not a first impressions or anything. And I actually really like the palette. I don't really care much for the glitter eyeshadows because I feel like only the top is glitter. So the first shade I'm going to go in with is, I believe the shade is Teddy, and I'm just going to run that along in my crease using a big fluffy blending brush from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collection. Going back into the eyeshadow palette, I'm going to grab the eyeshadow raw, and I'm also going to place that into the crease so it's like a deeper pink, and I'm just going to make that crease really, really defined. I'm going to take a pinky purple shade. This is Love Bite, and I'm just going to place this at the outer corner and pull this into the crease. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend for my life. The brushes I'm using, you guys, are the same Jaclyn Hill Morphe brushes. I really love them. And I'll just put the brushes in the description bar down below. Then I'm going to go in with my P. Louise eyeshadow base because I really want that lid color to be really pigmented. So I'm just going to go ahead and carve out my crease. And you guys, I almost forgot how bomb this eyeshadow base is because I haven't used it in a while, but it really does make the eyeshadows look really, really pigmented. So now I'm going to go back into that eyeshadow Love Bite, and I'm just going to place a bit more of that on the outer corner and just pull it up into the crease. Really want to get the eyeshadow to look really pigmented and vibrant. And then for the lid color, I'm going to take the eyeshadow. This one is Daydream. It's like this iridescent pink shade. Like, it looks so gorgeous, and I just think it works so well with this hair look. So I apply it all over my eyelid. And moving on to liner, I'm going to take one of my favorite liquid liner, actually not one of my favorite liquid liner, the NYX Matte Black liquid liner, and I'm going to create a wing liner. So I usually start off with a very thin line and then make it really thick on the outer corner of the eyes. And before I apply my false lashes, I'm just going to apply one coat of mascara to my itty bitty teeny tiny lashes. And then for the lashes today, I'm going to be using the Lily lashes. So these are their newest synthetic lashes, and I must say I really, really love this style. This one is in the style Houston, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply them lashes. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply the Huda Beauty primer. It's my absolute favorite, and I'm going to apply it all over my face. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do a little color correcting under the eyes. I'm using a orange concealer. This one is by LA Girls. It's not my favorite concealer to use to do this because it's really too dark for my skin. So I just have to use a small amount. All right, moving on to foundation. As you can see, I barely have any foundation product, like literally struggling. I'm digging out the last bit of that foundation, and the shade that I use is Warm Coconut and Caramel, and this is the Maybelline Super Stay Multi-Use Foundation Stick. It is my absolute favorite, and I'm gonna go in with a Real Techniques brush and blend that foundation in. As you can see, I am applying a little bit of that foundation onto my lace because this lace is transparent and it has like a white tinge to it. So I usually put some foundation powder onto the lace before I apply my wig, but I completely forgot to do that step when I applied my wig today. So I'm just gonna apply just a little bit of foundation on it just to kind of hide that lace. All right, so moving on to highlighting, I'm gonna use my favorite concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I use two shades. I use Warm Sand and Sand just to get the right tone for my skin tone. So I do put the darker shade on first, and then I go on top with the lighter shade. And then I'm gonna use a concealer brush and just blend in that concealer. Moving on to contour, I like to cream contour, so I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty, and this is their matchsticks, and I think the shade I use is Truffle, I'm not sure. And I apply this in the hollows of my cheek, along my forehead area, on the jawline, snatching that face. All right, so now we're gonna set and lock everything into place. I'm using the Huda Beauty Bake Powder, and I'm gonna use this big powder brush. Yeah, girl, that is way too much powder. You're doing the most with all of that powder. And I'm just gonna apply this all over my face. The shade that I use is Blondie, and then I'm gonna apply a bit of that powder under my eyes to set and lock everything into place. I'm just gonna go in with some MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC45, just to add some color back into my skin because I was looking a little pale there. And just to make my contour a little bit more defined and bronze up my skin, I use the Matte Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Deep, and I'm just applying this along the hollows of the cheek, along the forehead. And then I'm gonna go in with that same powder and bake my contour. So I'm just gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna quickly fill in the top of my brows using my Benefit Cosmetics, my Precisely Brow Pencil in the shade number 4. And you guys, the way I was struggling to get my brow gel to open, like I could not get it open, like struggling, like I don't know. Eventually I got it open, and I'm just gonna apply that all over my brows just to set my brow hair and lock them into place as well. And we're gonna go ahead and dust away all that excess powder because, honey child, we don't need that. So we're gonna move on back to the eyes. I'm gonna go back into the eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna grab that deep purple shade, and I'm just going to run that along the bottom lash line, just a little bit of that. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of mascara to my teeny tiny bottom lashes. And then you guys, I'm gonna use a old school ride or die product. This is MAC Loose Pigment in the shade Naked. I'm just gonna put this at the inner corner of my eyes and a little bit along the bottom lash line as well. It is an all-time favorite of mine. All right, so now that the eyes are completed, we are moving on to skin. We're gonna complete the skin, and I'm gonna use one of my favorite highlighter. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome. I love it, and I'm using a Morphe fan brush to apply. I also apply a bit of that down the nose, on the tip of the nose, and yes, you guessed it, my favorite blush, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Kit in Radiant. I always use this blush in every single video. Moving on to the lips, I'm using my MAC lip pencil in Cork. It's a favorite, and look how small that is. I've had it since the start of the year, and I'm applying it all over my lips. Then I'm gonna go in with this lipstick that I'm like obsessing over. This is by Miss Fame, and this is her new lipstick in the shade Flesh. It's like the perfect nude. I absolutely love it. And I'm gonna add some gloss to this to finish this look off. I'm using the Fenty Gloss, one of my favorite lip glosses, and the look is pretty much completed. I'm just gonna go in with some setting spray. This one is from Cover FX. It is their dewy setting spray. So the makeup is completed. We're just gonna move on to the hair. So my hair is already straightened, and I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, straighten it out a bit more and just flip the front of it with my flat iron. I don't really use a lot of hair products. I mainly use my Chi hair serum. I did that. I just applied some of that hair serum off camera. I didn't do a lot of baby hair because I don't really know how to do baby hairs, to be honest, and I was struggling to get some hairspray out. onto my brush, but I had to go grab another bottle of hairspray, and I just apply a bit of that on the front of my hair just to get that little volume at the top. And yeah guys, this is pretty much the completed hair and makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up if you like, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon. I love you guys so much, and thank you for watching.